So in last session, we done till split column affiliate queries, splitting into multiple columns or multiple rows. We already done. And next one is a group by. If you want to perform a group by operation, you have a group by functionality is there. So here, so if I want to perform a group by operation on a book name, right click on it, the group by. Here you have here you have two options, basic and advanced. Basic is nothing but whatever the column that you selected on that column on that column what kind of group by operation that you want to perform. The sum of book wise sum of the amount paid and give some name here. So book wise amount paid. So if you want to perform a group by operation, you can make it. Because you selected a specific column, on that specific column it is allowing you to perform an aggregation. Okay, and you have an advanced option is there. Whenever you select an advanced option, irrespective of the selected column, you can add a multiple groupings. Okay, so book wise, city wise, state wise, the amount paid, and the sum of the pending amount, and state wise move up. Next, state wise, city wise, book wise. I want to calculate the amount paid and pending amount. You can. So group by operation was performed. So here, whenever performing the basic and advanced, the difference is whenever you select a basic. Let me remove this one. Whenever you select a column and whenever you perform a group by, the basic is nothing but we are going to perform a group by on that column. On that column, you can change it, but it is specified for that column, and here you can change it also. And one aggregation you can perform. But advanced is nothing but you can add multiple groupings and multiple aggregations. You just need to specify the columns and what is the operation that you want to perform and what is the alias name. With this, you can perform that group by operation. And next one is fill. Fill up and fill down. Fill up and fill down is nothing but if you wanted to perform, if you want to replace your above or below values as a null value. So whenever you are calculating the averages, for some days you have a null value will be there. Whenever you have a null value, how you are going to handle that one? You want to update that one with a rolling average or a normal average, or you want to consider it as null only. So in order to specify that, you have fill up and fill down are there. So fill up means the above value will be filled with whatever the value that I have now. Fill down means the below value will be filled with the above value. Okay, so a practical example are like how it is going to update. Like we are going to load our SQL Server data. In next class I will showcase. So if you are having null values, that null values, if you want to update with the above or below value with the existing values. See, I'm saying so today, or let's consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There are some averages are there like 5, 4, 3, null, 5, 4. If I perform the average, what it is going to do? It is going to ignore generally the null value and it is going to perform the average on these 5 numbers. The 5 numbers average will come. Some people they wanted to calculate or they want to showcase an average in such a way that if I have a null value, whatever the average that I have up to here, the same average need to fill here they want. Okay, whatever the average till yesterday that I have, even though today I don't have any value, I want to make that value as the average today. So the above value need to be updated here. Okay, so in that kind of scenarios, we are going to use fill up and fill down. So when we are going to connect with SQL server, I can showcase how it is going to functioning. That is not at all a big deal. Okay, but this is the kind of scenario where we are going to update on a fly. The above or below values will be updated with the above values. Okay, here I have null. Fill down means this value will be updated with a 3, or fill up means the above null value will be updated with this one. So what is this value means? That might be a column or that might be a measure. So we'll see a practical how we are going to apply that one in tomorrow or day after tomorrow. And here unpivot columns, unpivot other column, unpivot only selected columns. Pivoting and unpivoting as a Power BI developers, I can say that there are the two common functionalities or three common things which most frequently required, which will make your life comfortable is one is SSIS operations, SSIS basic ETL transformations. The second one is, if not SSIS operations, the pivot and unpivot tasks. And the third one is, the third and most commonly useful to you is a split task is there here. Whatever the split task that I showcased here yesterday by delimiter by number of characters, right? It is showcased in option that into columns, into rows. You need to understand or you need to have a query handy that how to split a string, a comma separated string into multiple rows. Consider or take it as a task the people who have been continuing, which means in this batch I have a two batches people are there. One batch which is started on December 10th. For that edit queries is not completed, they joined, and another batch yesterday it was started. So for the existing batch people, all the people called Arpit or Brahma and all the people Krishna, Manasa, Shiv Prasad, Saugata, all the people remember a task that we need to write a SQL query an SQL query which will separate the comma, which will split a column into multiple rows or columns of a comma separated column. Understand that in database table, one of the column you have a comma separated values. Your query need to split into multiple columns with the help of a comma separation, comma is a delimiter, and the same thing you need to have instead of multiple columns, multiple rows you need to make it, which I showcased yesterday. You people need to have this query handy, and you people need to prepare this query by next 2 days of time. Understood the requirement, Krishna?
Yeah.
Okay. And all other people also. So this one is very very important. You might tell me or you might have a question that boss, this is already there as part of Power BI. Why we require a query? Though you have as part of Power BI, we are not going to use that framework or that edit queries we are not going to touch in live environment. This is for the sake of practice, or this is for the sake of teaching only. In live environment, if it is going to generate an SQL query, that is helpful to me, but it is not going to generate a SQL query, right? It is going to generate a Power Pivot query. So it is required at a database level. So please, please work on this one. And the another one is, why I explained that one is unpivot. Most of the times you are going to get the data which is in a unpivoted format, unpivoted format, and they want the data in a pivoted format as part of a reporting. Okay, so they will mention that, they will mention like this, like let's assume the likes, comments, shares. They'll give the values like this, but they want to showcase in a report like this: likes, comments, and shares. The likes are this much, comments are this much, and shares are this much. So the person who is going to give your data, or the source system, will have a different format of data or different structure of data, but they will expect a report in different structure. At that time, you need to pivot or unpivot the data. At that time, in a data in Power BI, we have pivot and pivot options are there, which will be very useful. If not, you need to write your SQL queries to support that one. At that time, if you know the SQL or any ETL operation, you can read the data from the ETL tool, and on a fly you can transform. Like there, you don't need to write a query. You just need to configure the columns. What are all the columns that you want to convert? Automatically, the data will be available in the required format. I will showcase tomorrow the practical scenario of that one. So make sure that, like, you need to aware of the basic ETL operations of any report, any ETL tool, that will help you. So now fill is nothing but on a fly up, like filling the null value, unpivot column, unpivot other column, unpivot only selected column. In order to understand what is a unpivot, first we need to understand what is a pivoting. Okay, so let me create a table. So I created a one table, which is, you can consider as a transaction table, or I have 17. Let me modify it once. I have one table is there which contains the product name, year, and a sales. Or let's consider a scenario that you have a transaction information here. There you have some some sales information, which is having a raw data of daily transactions, user wise. Daily transactions are there. Each transaction you are recording as a record in a table. We have 10 lakhs records are there. you want to analyze the data. You wanted to analyze the data where you have daily each and every transaction is there. As part of that, transaction date, product name, and sales information or a quantity you have. Day wise multiple transactions are there. Like that we have 10 lakh records are there. If someone wanted to analyze the data, how best you are going to give the data to the user or management? We are not going to generate a 10 lakh records as a printable format and we cannot give it, right? So we need to represent to the management in such a way that, boss, month wise, product name wise, month wise, product name wise, the sales amount. Or you can give in such a way that you can give the product names 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Month January, February, March, April, each month. What are the sales? So if I want to find out a specific product sales, I will select the product each month. What are the sales I can see? With a single record I can see. So what is happening there? What how the data is available to you and how you are going to convert the data. Here you have a day level, each and every day level, product level, the sales info is there. That you are that days, converting that days into months, and you are showcasing the data. So the process of converting a column values into multiple column names, the process of converting rows into columns, people used to say these are the rows. These rows which contains a detailed day level data. In that I want to extract year level data. I want to extract a year from that each row and I am going to represent that years as part of a new columns. The process of converting a rows into columns, the process of converting a column values into multiple columns is nothing but pivoting. That is what pivoting. Whatever the transaction date information is there, that I am converting into months and I am showcasing each product as all 12 months in a single row. I am showcasing. If I have a 10 products, even though I have 10 lakh records, I can showcase in 10 records space. They can easily understand, they can easily read. This process, we used to call it as a pivoting. Now, if you have this one, now that is for understanding purpose. I refer that, boss, you have a daily data, you are representing product wise, month wise data. But whenever you are creating a bar chart, whenever you are creating a pie chart, if I have this kind of data, like I have a product name, January, February, March, April, I have a different columns. I cannot create a bar chart which represents month level data. What is a January, what is a February, what is March, what is April? I cannot represent. Why? Because I have a data each month separately, like January, February, March, April, I have separately. I can create a multiple measures. But where is the dimension of a month? I don't have a dimension of a month. How you are going to create a bar chart or a pie chart which is going to represent a month level? At that time, if you have this kind of data, you cannot represent a bar chart. You can represent a product wise, the year wise, sales you can showcase, but you cannot showcase a month level. The process of converting again back the columns into rows is unpivoting. Okay, your data might be in this format or in this format. If you have in this format, you have some issues are there, some needs are there. If you have this format, you have some needs are there. You are going to convert this to this or this to this. At that time, you are going to select a pivot, or sometimes you are going to select unpivot. Okay, so if you have this one, that will not help you for a printable reports or easy understanding. But if you have this format, that will not help you to create a visualizations. Table it is fine, but not to create a visualizations you require the dimension, right? The dimension is not there. So if you have data in this format, in order to create a visualizations, you need to roll back into pivoted format, and you need to then after you need to create a visualization. Now I have a data, I have project level data. Each project I have a year level of data is there. But here I just mentioned 3 products, 3 years data. But I have a products, each product with 10 years data is there. B with 10, C with 10. I have 10 years data is there. At the time I have 30 records are there. I want to see only A level data. How best I can see is I can transform these 10 records into 10 columns, and I can see for A these are the data, B these are the data, and C these are the data. Within 3 records I can see the complete picture. I might have a 10 columns, but I can easily understand. But if I have 30 records, I cannot able to understand. So that process we are calling it as pivoting. Now here, in order to understand the unpivot operation, we need to understand a pivoting. So in the transform, we have an option called pivot column is there. So pivot column, we are able to see that use the names of currently selected column to create a new columns. Use the names in the currently column. Names are nothing but the values. The distinct values of a selected column can be converted as a new column names. Now if I want to apply pivoting on this column, pivot. So are you sure you want to insert a step? Why? So I am in a 1 second. Now select a column, pivot a column. So whenever you are selected, you opted 1 second. What happened? Okay, it is not moving. Fine. Whenever you selected a pivot column, what do you mean by that one? What is going to happen is we have one column values A, B, C. What is going to happen is those are going to convert as 3 columns A, B, C. At that time, what are the values that you want to populate over here? That is what it is asking. Boss, from which column I need to pick the values and populate on these 3 columns? You need to tell that, boss, take the sales values and populate. So whenever you said, it is showcasing that A, B, C becomes a 3 columns, and 2013 how much, 2014 how much, 2015 how much, 2016 how much. Okay, year wise you are able to, or if you select a year and if you apply a pivot, and even here also the sales, it is saying that product name called A, for each year what are the sales info. So I don't need to refer a 30 records or 40 records. With a single shot I can see for a year 2015 is how much, 16 is how much, 14 is how much. I can compare the things. That is what a pivoting is. Whatever the 2000 like year values that I have, the distinct values were taken and those were generated as the new columns and the values were populated. This is what a pivoting. So if you have a data like this, the table 4, what you can do is you can generate a printable format of a report. The table 4 it is. That is good if you want to generate a printable format of a report. But Now you can see the table 4. If I want to create a bar chart on top of it, how I can create? A product name is one of the dimension that I have, and what I need to do, what is representing 2016, 2015, and it is showcasing that the values of each product name wise, the values it is getting displayed. For each year you need to drag. Okay, so years were displayed, but years are displayed like this. Each year you are able to generate a separate value, but I want to generate each product name wise for all the values 2013, 14, 15, 16, all the values together. I want to generate a bar chart each product wise. I am unable to showcase that one. Each column is showcased as a separate bar. So on top of it you need to create a multiple measures and you need to showcase, and you don't have a year dimension. Year wise I want to showcase the overall sales amount. As a single bar it is not coming, it is showcasing other different bars. Okay, so there you might need to perform unpivot operation. Please let me know if my voice is low. Okay, that will impact on video also. So here I have pivoted data. Now I want to perform unpivoted data. Okay, so I want to unpivot this table into actual table whatever you observed. At the time you have column level unpivot columns option is there. You can unpivot it. So whenever you unpivot it, what is going to happen is, previously whenever you have a column called A100, B200, whenever you have a data like this, if you pivot here, what is happening is it is going to convert into A100, and this one is going to become a new column, right? B200. This is what pivoting was done. Now you have a data like this. If you make unpivot on any column, what will happen is, unpivot on this column, if you perform, what will happen is that B200 will be as is. You are going to convert this column into a row, this column into a row. So what will happen is A100 it is going to showcase. Previously a row has converted A100 was converted a column A100. Now if you perform unpivot, that will be converted back into A100 only. That is the unpivot option. So whatever the column that you selected, if you made unpivot, means that column will be converted into a row. That's it. Now here if I select a column and if I unpivot that column, what is going to happen? A100, the product name A, product name B, product name C will happen. unpivot column, what happened? Product name A, product name B, product name C. That is what happened. Or whatever the column that you select. And that is what unpivot column. Unpivot other columns. All other columns we are going to unpivot it. So this is what actually your table is. Your source table is like this only, right? Except that column, all the other columns were unpivoted at a single shot. Okay, so A100, so no need to explain this one. Unpivoted and unpivot the selected columns, only selected columns, which means whatever you selected, which means whatever you selected, those columns get unpivoted like this. Only those columns got unpivoted. That is what unpivot only selected columns. So you have a pivot and unpivot operations are there, which is very important. Like if the data is given by some upstream system or some other person, if they are giving the data, they will make this nonsense. Okay, they will give the data in their easy format. And if you want to generate a report, we feel that only one table and one bar chart we need to create. We feel it is very easy. They will give in different format. You need to convert, or you need to separate that comma separate values into multiple rows or multiple columns in a database level, or you need to perform a pivoting or unpivoting, and you need to remove the headers. There are many things will be there. So one of the important thing is pivot and unpivot, which you can do it at a Power BI level, but as part of best practice, we don't have any edit query concept. You need to understand how you can achieve this one at SQL level. For pivoting, you have SSIS ETL transformation is there. For that comma split, you people need to have a query with you. So make sure that you are going to work on that assignment, the existing people, and the next one is that is what unpivot other column, unpivot only selected column. If you want to rename a column, you can rename it, or if you want to move a column to the beginning or to the end, move to the end or move to the beginning, or like whenever you have multiple columns are there, whenever you are analyzing something, you want to make the columns together. So at that time, you can move your column to any position. You can move to the any position the columns, and then after drill down and add as a new query. Sometimes it's the most of the times you need to create dimensions. Even though the best practices that you are using, you must have a star schema. Though you are getting a fact table with your keys and values, whatever, you must have a star schema. If you want a star schema, what do you mean by that one? You need to have a dimension separated. I have a sales data table is there. So though I have a sales data, though I have a book names, city names, everything, I need to have a dimension called city. For that, what I am going to do from here, I am going to add as a new query, and I am going to remove the duplicates. So my dimension called city is available, my dimension called state is available, and I am going to create another column called book name, add as a new query, and I am going to remove the duplicates. So I have book name dimension, city name dimension, and state dimension available, and I am going to construct a star schema, and we are going to continue further. Why that star schema is required and everything we'll see. But here why I told that one is add as a new query is nothing but whatever the column that you selected, that will be added as new table. It is a new table. So previously you have a duplicate table is there, it is going to completely duplicate a table. But boss, I don't want to completely duplicate a table. I want only few columns from a table. Okay, at that time you can select that columns and you can add as a new query and drill down. Sometimes I don't want to add as a new query, or I want to change only the existing query into required format. In that scenario, I am going to use drill down option. So I want only book name here. I can see without without creating a new table, I am able to see at that level of data. So that is what a drill down. You want it another table or a same table, that is up to you. You have a drill down and add as new query options are there, and move, rename, everything we observed. So these are the options which are associated at a column level of a table. We started edit queries or transformations yesterday, and as part of it we have three windows will be there. The queries, which are nothing but the tables that you loaded, and preview pane, the table preview will be showcased, and the query settings. Whatever the transformation that you are doing, that will be recorded here. And we observe the options available on a table. We observe the options associated on a column, and out of it, the split column, how it is going to behave, we didn't observe. We'll see as part of once we connect with the SQL server. And the next one is the columns, the options associated with the filter. So as part of these columns, as part of your analysis, you want to see, or you wanted to sort it your columns according to, one second, you wanted to sort your columns based on ascending or descending, ascending or descending, or sometimes whatever the ascending or descending you applied, you don't want to remove that, you don't want the sorting, you can remove it. So that was the first three options of the column: ascending, descending, and clearing the sort. And sometimes, like here you have a filters concept is there. This is the basic filtering, which is going to display all the distinct values. Whatever the values that you want, you can select it. You can select it. And whatever the selection that you made, whatever the filter that you made, if you don't want that filtering, clear the filter. And you have remove empty record. Sometimes you have a null values will be there. I don't want to load the null values. This is at a column level. Whatever you are seeing at a column level. In this column, I have a null values. I have a column called book name which contains a null value. I don't know what book I sold, but I have some records. But whenever I am generating a report, I need to map it with someone, or I need to remove that one. So I want to remove the records where the book name is null, or state is null, or city name is null. At a single column level, I want to remove all the whatever the blank records. So if you have any empty records, you can remove it, or whatever the filter that you made, if you want to remove, you can clear a sort. And this is a basic filtering. And if you want to perform some search, you can search it, or if you want to perform some search advanced operations, like I have a date column. I wanted to display the records of only this year. At that time, instead of manually selecting a 365 records or 361 records, I can perform advanced search that was the start date or transaction date from 2017 January 1st to till date, are greater than or equal to 2017 Jan 1st, or I want to see a values greater than some specific value. You can apply that search. So I want to filter down the records where the amount paid is greater than 300, greater than 300 or 400, greater than or equal to. So you can see all are greater than 400. So based on the data type of a column, we have different options. If it is a text, it is going to give an options called start, ends with, contains, not contains, and all. If it is a numeric greater than, less than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, between, all the operations are there. If it is a date, on or after, before, on or before, between, everything will be there. So those are the options at a filters which are available at a column level. This is the third level. And fourth, here you have an options which are applicable for all the columns. All for all the columns are complete table. There, copy entire table option is there. Copy entire table, and you can paste it as part of your Excel. You can see whatever the table that I copied, I am able to extract in Excel and use first row as a headers and headers as a first row. So previously, till that, like last year, 1 year back, also, if you are loading the data from Excel, by default, it will not recognize the headers. Okay. Even now, there are some situations, like some file systems, it might or it might not unable to detect the headers, or sometimes you are not going to have a header. You are not going to have a header. You are going to have direct values. 100. You are having a value like this. Whenever you given the value like this, 100, 2 comma 300, whenever you given the input this one to a Power BI, what it is going to say is, one is a header name, 100 is another header name, the values are this one. At that time, what we need to do? We need to say, boss, this is not a header, this is a value. Unfortunately, I don't have a header. We need to roll down from header to data. Sometimes you will have a column name, but it will not recognize as a header there. At that time, we need to say, boss, this is a header. You need to mention. At that time, here use first row as a header. In order to tell that one, I need to do a reverse operation. Use headers as the first row. Now you can see that the city name, book name, transaction ID, and everything was available as part of my data, which is not recognized as a headers. If you have a data like this, what you need to do is you are going to promote your first record as a headers. So it was promoted as a header. So that is what the use first row as headers. If your value, your header is not recognized as a header and it was stored as a value, in that scenario you are going to say that, boss, the first row is a header, by promoting like that. And whenever you don't have a header, sometimes that is going to recognize it as a header. At that time you are going to demote that one, that boss is a value. With the help of transform, use headers as a first row. And next, choose columns option is there. Choose columns is, let I said yesterday that, boss, I have 20 columns are there. Whenever you load it, it is going to load all the 20 columns. But I want only 5 columns. What I am going to do? I need to manually select all the other columns and I need to remove. Or I need to select whatever the column that I want and I need to remove. But if I have 20 columns, I need to scroll down. In that scenario, here you have a choose columns option is there. Then select whatever the column that you want. Other columns will get removed. Okay, that is what the choose columns are. And next one, add a custom column. Add a custom column is nothing but, here if you wanted to create another column, you can create it from here at edit queries state. If you want to create any column, understand that here the column that you are created before data modeling you are created this column. Okay, so by, like, you are doing some edit query operations means you will have a clear question. You might have a question, or you will ask a question. Boss, there is a concept called create a column yet Power BI. And what do you mean by create a column at a what do you mean by a custom column creation at edit queries? Okay, so people who have a time, just analyze it. What is the difference between the custom column at edit queries and the create column at Power BI space? Understand the difference between them. For now, if you want to create a column here based on the other columns, you can create it. So I am saying I can define one static value, or I can use these columns and I can write an expression. Okay, for now the amount paid sum plus 50 I am just adding for the sake. I have the 375 plus 50 was added, it is showing a value. So custom column is nothing but if you want to create a column based on your expression with the help of the other columns, you can create a column here. Okay, that you can consider as a calculation. Whatever the calculation that you want to create, you can create a column here. And next, and add add a conditional column. Add a conditional column here based on a condition. You want to populate a values. Okay, on a specific column is there. I want to give a grade. I want to give a grade in such a way that if the amount paid is less than or equal to 300, I want to give a grade A. If the amount paid is less than or equal to 600, I want to give a grade B, and otherwise I want to give C. So based on the amount paid value, I generated different grades. You can see based on the value the grades were generated. So here, if based on a condition, I'm not evaluating and I'm not creating a column based on my formula. I'm providing different values based on a different inputs. Okay, I'm testing each and every value, and I'm going to assign a different values based on the value that I have. But the previous scenario, I'm calculating the same formula across all the rows. Okay, that is what a custom column. The same formula will be evaluated for all the rows. Conditional column is nothing but based on the input. We are going to apply a condition, we are going to send a value. That is what the conditional column. And yes, 1 second. Satish, do you have any question?
No, as of now, nothing.
Okay, fine. As you are unmuted, I just asking. Okay, so that is what conditional column and a custom column. And I already told you people that the existing people like 8 to 9 batch people, what is the difference between the custom column and the column at a Power BI report view level? Understand the difference. And index column, add index column is nothing but we are going to generate.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Srinivas.
Yes.
Now you have added one odd conditional value,
Yes.
odd conditional column on the top of some value, because in this Excel now we are having values at float and int, right? So in that conditional you got that condition with if the value is case like greater than, okay, like that, all those condition you got. But if your values are string, In that case, what and all the option will come for the condition?
Conditions, you are going to get the advanced options like starts with, ends with, contains, everything. So let me create that one. So I'm selecting the conditional column. Another column, you can provide the column name over here, and the column name contains city name. Here, if it is a string, it is showcasing that begins with, ends with, doesn't begins with, doesn't ends with, contains, not contains. You are going to say that if it is going to start with or if it is going to contain something, you need to give this value. If it is going to contain some other thing, it is going to generate another value. So you are going to use these options. If it is a textual, you are going to get these options. If it is a numeric, all the places same concept. If it is a numeric, it is a greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to, not equal to. If it is a date, it is going to showcase before, after, on or before, on or after, equal, not equal. Okay, equal, not equal, why it is displaying? Equal you can find at a normal base level, but we are going to use a concept called parameters. On a fly we are going to give a single value, that's why we have equal, not equal is there. But based on the data type of your column, you are going to get the different options as a filtering options. Clear, Sandhya?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, we can use the expression, right? We can write the expression because we are having one option for expression also.
Where?
So, what is the difference between in that? Not here. You need to do the right click on column.
Right click on a column.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So now here, please. No, not here.
Hmm. Tell me your requirement or what exactly you are referring. I will.
Here exactly one our custom column is there. The custom column is nothing but a right of expression, right? We can write the same expression.
Same expression. Expression you can write it.
Yeah.
Okay. So expression not to write it. You are the one. You need to write the condition also, right or not?
Yeah, correct.
You need to write a condition. If you are comfortable enough by writing a select 10 like switch cases
Yeah.
or if conditions, you can write it. Okay.
Mm.
But you need to write a condition here. Will you agree with that? You need to write. So you need to write the complete thing, whatever you want. You need to write it here. But
Correct.
but there the complete UI is there. You just need to pass the input.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Only that is the difference, right?
That is
Otherwise, the
that
functionality is the same only.
functionality is same only. I can say at this point of time. Why? Because it is going to support a DAX. Okay. But
Mm.
here it is a generic. The same expression is going to evaluate for everything. And the previous one is like you can write a condition and you are referring that. We can write the condition here also. Yes, we can. But if you want to write it, you must be good at DAX also.
Mm-hmm.
You must be good at a DAX. You need to be in a position to write a DAX like conditions, like with the switch cases, if cases, and operators, or operators, and everything. You must be very good. Then only you can write. If you don't know DAX much, what you are going to do here? You cannot write.
Okay.
Yeah. So there
Okay.
you have everything is handy. You just need to add conditions whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can add a multiple conditions here, and we can add multiple conditions over here. And anyone has any questions up to here? If you have question, you
Hello.
can. Yes.
Sure. Can you repeat the overview at least till now, whatever we have completed from 7 to 8?
Okay, I will cover that one. Other than that, any questions you have? Other than Satish request, anyone has any other questions? whatever Satish requested, I'm going to repeat it now in next 1 or 2 minutes of time. But I'm stopping here and we'll continue from here in the next session. I was also having a lot of work. I didn't sleep the complete night. Okay,